few days ago, Nathan Foley posted on, I think, Facebook, saying that Hi-5 aired for the first time 25 years ago, which is incredible. And I had two thoughts. My first thought was I was a lot older when I started watching that than I thought I was. And the second thought is that I wanted to watch the first episode again. I have a lot of strong memories of Hi-5, but at the same time, considering there are so many episodes, there are some that I definitely don't remember. So I thought I'd check out this first episode. And I have to say, it's a lot higher energy than I remembered. It is quite exhausting to watch, but in a really joyful way. And I have a lot of praise for it. So I will talk about what happens in this episode. I'll share some memories along the way if I have any things that I remembered and things that really stood out to me. I don't know if I'll watch and review anymore. I might do. But for now, we're starting with Physical, which is the first episode, and the song of the week is Ready or Not, which is, I was going to say one of the most iconic songs, but I feel like there are maybe 10 Hi-5 songs that I still know, maybe more than 10 actually, where if you said, sing this song, I could do it all of the way through because, well, one, because I watched this so much, but also because it was the same song constantly. So Ready or Not is definitely one where I have very, very, very strong memories, and it's delightful. This is also very 90s. It definitely feels very 90s, mostly with the hairstyles, not so much Nathan and Kathleen, but with Tim, Kellie, and Charli, their hair is very 90s, and most of the costumes are as well, which is just an absolute delight. Something that I didn't remember, and I don't know if I picked up on this when I was younger, but after we have the intro song, there are spoilers in this discussion, by the way, as I talk about what happens in the episode. I'm not entirely sure it's the kind of show you can spoil, but nevertheless, there will be potential spoilers. And after we had the intro, it spelled out the word hat on screen, but we had sign language. I'm assuming Australian sign language. Maybe they tweaked it for different broadcasts, I don't know, but we had the hands, the pictures of the hands spelling out H-A-N-T, which either I never picked up on or I couldn't remember, but I thought that was a really nice touch. I don't remember Hi-5 doing very much with sign language, but that could just be a gap in my memory. I will then go through the various different things that happened in the episode. With some of them I have quite a few thoughts, with some of them not very many thoughts at all. It starts off with Kellie and Chats pretending to be astronauts. I have a positive and a negative thought here. The negative is that I don't like Chats. I never ever did. I don't know why. The positive is that I love how it encouraged physical movement. For example, Kellie says she's jumping up and down and touching the ground. And I like the fact that the movements are very precise. It's very easy for very young children to follow. And I feel like this is throughout the episode and in general with Hi-5 as well. But of course, with this one being called Physical, I did expect a lot of movement. And I think often the movements are, because they're very exaggerated, it's easy to see and easy to copy. Whereas there are other children's TV shows where the characters might be dancing or doing movements, but they're not that easy to keep up with. And I think for young children, they could be quite challenging to copy. Whereas this is not the case with Hi-5. And I definitely remember that being the case. Something else I thought was really brilliant. In the next section, Charli is pretending to be an imaginary moon bunny of all things. And she puts on her helmet, but it's an imaginary space helmet. And we see her again with quite exaggerated movements, putting it on and then fastening it underneath. And I really like that because not only does it encourage imaginative play, but it's also much more likely that a young viewer at home can follow along. Whereas if she'd used, let's say she'd used a bicycle helmet to pretend it was a space helmet, it's not guaranteed that the child at home or viewer at home will have a helmet to hand. Whereas if she's just imagining one, the viewer can copy along. And I think that was a really great decision. We then have Nathan wearing wings, and the wings, again, the wings are quite simple in their design and something that I guess could be made at home. I don't know if I would have been able to. I wasn't very good with arts and crafts. I loved arts and crafts, but I was not good at them. And then we get Charli making a butterfly with her hands, and then we have quite a lot of noise, actually, as they make seagull noises and splishy, splashy wave sounds. I believe it was Kathleen and Kellie doing that. It was very, very noisy. And to think that this is something that I would have watched before school, so let's say 7, maybe 7:30 in the morning, and to just think, like now at my age, if I was trying to get ready at that time in the morning, that's not what I want to listen to. So massive credit to every parent who's ever had to listen to this chaos at ridiculous times in the morning. But it's obviously really good fun and definitely very lively and a great way to kickstart the day if you allow yourself to absorb that level of energy. Charli then pretends to be a fire engine and a police car and an ambulance. Again, great use of pretend play. We have some great songs in here. In particular, I thought Charli's vocal performances were really, really strong. We then have Kathleen using a treasure map to search for jewels. I think she was searching for the jewels on her tiara, if I remember correctly. And I think that that's something that can be replicated at home. Like most children, I loved treasure maps. I loved making treasure maps and hiding things around the house. So that's something that really appealed to me. Maybe this influenced me. I don't know. And we also have a story that Nathan tells in this one. I'd forgotten about that story time, but in each episode, I think it's each episode, at least frequently, one of them tells the story and the others act it out. And this one was about a magic carpet. And then we go into the closing song again, which is, of course, Ready or Not. And it is delightful. It's definitely focusing a lot on imagination and exploring the world around us and movements, both in terms of dancing, but also just any other kind of physical movement. I love how exaggerated the performances are. It's so well done. And I had a lovely nostalgic experience with this one. As I said, I don't know if I'm going to watch any more. I may well do. I might just watch some of the songs, but if I do decide to watch the next episode, I will certainly discuss it. If you grew up watching Hi-5 and perhaps you haven't seen it or listened to any of the songs, I did have one of the albums at one point. If you haven't listened to any of the songs in quite a while, I'd say go back, check out the first episode. It's a wonderful experience. I think I have a different kind of appreciation for it as an adult, a different appreciation both for what it brings for viewers, but also for the performances and the abilities of Charli, Kathleen, Kellie, Nathan, and Tim. It's pretty delightful, and I rather enjoyed rewatching it.